Welcome to Cinema Bites, your go-to for movie recaps in a flash. Big twists, epic moments, all in just minutes. In the middle of the sea, an earthquake shook the ocean floor so strongly that it caused a crack emitting a blue light. At the same time, a couple was spending time together in the sea. Suddenly, the man proposed to his girlfriend, but before she could respond, something pulled him underwater. The girl was confused as she looked around and started screaming when she saw his body. She surfaced, and immediately after, a killer appeared who was a zombie and killed her instantly. Meanwhile, Hunter, Rory, and his niece Jad were enjoying fishing when they saw another boat on fire in the distance. They quickly moved to the boat, and Hunter helped put out the fire before anything more dangerous could happen. The fire was caused by fireworks being used incorrectly. Hunter confiscated the fireworks because he was responsible for beach safety. He also scolded the group on the boat for drinking and driving at the same time. But Billen, who was with them, didn't like what he said. Elsewhere, on the edge of a cliff, a mysterious man was observing the blue light through binoculars. At that time, Hunter and his group returned to fishing. Rory caught something huge with his fishing rod. After attempts to pull it up, they discovered it was a completely blue corpse. Jad used an underwater camera to see what was happening and discovered the blue light was coming from the ocean floor, which was unnatural. Hunter immediately notified the authorities. While Jad was covering the corpse, the man noticed the blue light appearing on the surface. Suddenly, the corpse came to life, revealing it was a zombie and attacked Jad aggressively, biting her shoulder. Rory distracted the zombie, and Hunter hurried to finish it off. However, the zombie rose again, and Hunter and Rory worked together to throw it back into the water. In the city, Kinsey, Hunter's wife, and their daughter Sam received a call from Hunter. He told her to help Jad because she was a doctor. Kinsey rushed to meet her husband, while Sam stayed with her friend to attend a concert. At the concert, Sam met the singer Dash. Kinsey took Jad in the car to the hospital, and the doctors started examining her. Meanwhile, Hunter and Officer Owen decided to investigate the strange incident together. They took Hunter's boat, and while at sea, they saw the blue light on the surface. Using cameras, they discovered a shipwreck with a crack emitting blue light. The ship was unusual as it had no markings or names. At that moment, a strange creature appeared, swimming around the wreck. Hunter said these attacks might be from zombies and recounted what had happened, but someone in the group laughed at the idea. Shortly after, a large number of zombies appeared in the water and started swimming toward them. Now, everyone believed his story. Hunter called Kinsey to tell her to isolate Jad. Hunter requested help and informed his colleague to evacuate the entire area. Sirens blared, and tsunami warnings started. People on the beach were shocked when they saw the water moving. Hunter, Rory, and the officer wanted to return to help the civilians, but froze in place when they saw a massive wave filled with zombies coming toward them. At the same time, people were terrified of the tsunami. Hunter tried to move the boat quickly, but the wave was faster. In the end, the wave hit the shore, completely destroying the area and leaving zombie corpses everywhere. Hunter and the officer managed to reach the shore safely, but the officer decided to save ammunition and not shoot yet. At the hospital, Kinsey told Rory that most of the medical staff had been evacuated and that Jad wouldn't see a doctor anytime soon, meaning she and Rory would have to stay in quarantine for the time being. The zombies carried by the wave started waking up and emerging from the sea to attack everyone they encountered. Most of the survivors ended up turning into zombies as well, increasing their numbers even more. Hunter used a shotgun and a sickle to kill several zombies, but there were too many of them. People kept dying one after the other. Later, Hunter found a boat and used its engine to distract the zombies all at once, allowing a group of people to escape. Meanwhile, Sam and her friends were watching the attack from a building and tried to call their families. However, everyone was panicked and busy, and no one was answering their phones. At the hospital, Jad woke up but died again within seconds, then came back to life as a zombie and tried to attack Rory. At that moment, a doctor entered the room, and Jad attacked and bit him instead of Rory. Rory used the opportunity to quickly escape the room. On the beach, they were still trying to get rid of the zombies. Despite all the ones they killed, the number of zombies kept increasing. The infected zombies continued moving. At that moment, Hunter and the officer decided to go get reinforcements. While in the truck, they suddenly heard a sound from behind, and it was Billen and his girlfriend who had been hiding. They stopped to help the group, and the truck sped off. Meanwhile, the mysterious man with binoculars reached the shore and approached a zombie holding a strange tool in his hand. At the hospital, Kinsey was terrified when she discovered that Jad had killed the entire medical staff. Jad started chasing Kinsey, who ran quickly through the corridors until Rory pulled her into a room and locked the door. Jad began trying to break the door, and after a while, the staff members who had turned into zombies started helping her. Finally, the zombies broke the door, and Rory and Kinsey were forced to run quickly. They reached another part of the hospital and saw a zombie sitting in a wheelchair. Jad was still chasing them. They had to keep running and tried to find a way to escape. At that time, Hunter and his group reached the police station and were trying to escape quickly because they saw zombies coming. Billen almost got caught, but threw his girlfriend to the zombies to use her as bait and entered the building. The zombies started attacking the windows, and Hunter confronted Billen and blamed him for his actions. Billen got angry, pulled out a gun, and threatened the other officer to take weapons from the storage. When the officer refused, Billen shot him and tried to go to the storage. Hunter didn't waste any time and quickly took him down. Meanwhile, Sam and her friends were running through the streets trying to escape the zombies. The situation was intense, and they were forced to split up. After a while, Sam's group decided to hide in the market, but the place was full of zombies. Dash fell, breaking his leg, and Sam had to help him, but one of the group members was killed immediately. The group split up, and Sam and Dash dash ran toward the police station. At the center, Hunter was trying to use the radio to call for help, but no one responded. Then the officer opened an envelope labeled "Cancel Medications" and quickly tore it apart without Hunter noticing. Hunter talked about the ship they saw at the bottom of the sea and discovered it was registered under the name of a company called Heroes of Industries, marked as rescued and abandoned. This meant the company was hiding the wreckage. Suddenly, zombies broke through the windows and entered the place. Hunter and the officer ran quickly to the weapons storage to grab arms. Hunter found a massive double-edged sword. As they were leaving, Bill, who was tied up, asked them to take him along, but they ignored him. Using the police shield, Hunter and the officer made their way through the zombies at the door. The officer shot at any zombie he saw, and Hunter used a bazooka to kill another group of zombies coming from the street. Unfortunately, the zombies were still moving, and worse, another tsunami wave full of zombies was approaching. Hunter and the officer fled quickly in a truck. While driving through the forest, they encountered an alpha zombie and ran it over with the truck, but the creature got back up as if nothing had happened. Sam and Dodge reached a parking lot and found a truck. One of the team members, wearing headphones and unaware of what was happening, opened the truck for the others and tried to act heroically, but couldn't face the overwhelming number of zombies and was killed quickly. Sam and Dodge locked the truck doors and tried to escape, but the truck wouldn't start. Meanwhile, Teeny managed to escape the city, running through the forest with zombies chasing her. She saw a house in the distance and quickly moved toward the front gate. Martin, the mysterious man seen earlier, was monitoring everything through surveillance cameras. He was the man capturing zombies for study. Martin asked Teeny to show him the back of her head to ensure she wasn't infected. Once confirmed she was clear, he let her in, and she entered quickly before the zombies reached her. Teeny borrowed a radio from Martin and contacted her family, discovering that her father was the officer. He asked her to stay inside with Martin. Meanwhile, Bill reached the body of a dead officer at the police station, took the keys, and freed himself. While trying to leave, he found his girlfriend, who had turned into a zombie, standing at the door. She immediately attacked and bit him. In the parking lot, Dodge confessed to Sam that he was slowing her down and asked her to leave him and move on. He climbed onto the truck and started playing the guitar to distract the zombies. At that moment, Hunter and the officer arrived, and Sam ran toward them. The officer shot at any zombie that tried to grab her. Sam reached the group, but the zombies got to Dodge and killed it. The group then headed to the hospital, closing the door quickly before the zombies could reach them. Sam tried to contact her mother, but got no response. She ran through the corridors to find the phone and, upon finding it, used it to speak through the loudspeakers, asking her mother to meet them on the second floor. The sound attracted a group of zombies, and Hunter and the officer began fighting them. Sam didn't notice that the phone cord was wrapped around her legs, and the zombies started pulling her. One zombie broke the door with its head. Sam was forced to defend herself using the double-edged sword. Meanwhile, Hunter grabbed 2 wires from the electrical box and electrocuted the zombies. The spark transferred from one creature to another, killing them all. Kenzie and her daughter arrived at the elevator, but a zombie blocked Kenzie's way. She quickly struck it and finally reunited with her daughter. Meanwhile, the men trapped the zombies in the elevator. The group began leaving the hospital, and Kenzie noticed that the zombies from the second wave looked different. She concluded that they had been experimented on. Hunter finished off some zombies with his sword so the group could board the truck and escape. After a while, they reached Martin's house, and Teeny reunited with her father. They noticed the officer had a wound, and Martin was concerned, but the officer reassured them it was just a scratch and that he wasn't infected. The officer used Martin's radio to try to call for support, but Martin told him he hadn't been able to contact anyone since the disaster began. They realized they had been hit by 2 tsunami waves and that no one had come to secure the area, implying a conspiracy behind the events. At that moment, the zombie prisoner restrained on the bed began to move. The officer heard the noise and went to check it himself. When he entered the lab, he found the bed empty. Suddenly, the zombie attacked the officer, and a fierce struggle ensued. The zombie bit the officer, who screamed in pain. He kicked the zombie away, but the sound of the fight attracted more zombies to the area. The men rushed to defend him, but Martin used an electric shock device to kill the zombie instantly. The officer's daughter tended to his wound, and Hunter worked on upgrading the electric shotgun, attaching it to the sword to create a more powerful weapon. The group confronted Martin about hiding zombies in his house. He explained that he was experimenting on them to find their weakness. These zombies' bodies were filled with a phosphorescent liquid, which is why they glowed in the water. Electricity was the only effective way to kill them. Hunter suggested luring the zombies back into the water and then electrifying it to eliminate them all at once. At the same time, they needed to blow up the wreckage underwater to stop more monsters from being created. Martin revealed he had a stash of C4 and grenades. The group began gathering weapons, and Hunter went outside to clear the way. However, the electric shotgun didn't work. Suddenly, Kenzie stepped out to help him, activating a lawnmower. She and Hunter worked together, taking down the zombies one by one. Thanks to their teamwork, the group succeeded in killing all the enemies and managed to escape. Kenzie told Hunter that if anything happened to her, he had to take care of Sam. At that point, the officer started feeling unwell, and they stopped to rest in a cave. Strangely, he hadn't turned into a zombie yet. Martin explained that the infection takes longer to reach the brain because he wasn't bitten near his head. The officer confessed the truth. 30 years ago, a pharmaceutical company came to this beach to test a new anti-aging drug away from government oversight. They bribed many people, including local council leaders, to cover up the matter. The officer was one of those leaders and helped them because they promised to take care of his wife, but she died in the end. The drug wasn't ready for human trials and caused horrifying side effects. The company shipped the drug along with the patients and staff half on a distant ship. Then they sank it after removing all the signs indicating the company. At that moment, a zombie attacked Hunter, but he managed to finally activate the stun gun and killed the zombie with Martin's help. Meanwhile, as the group continued their escape, Tiny was forced to leave the officer who was dying. However, she made sure to throw a grenade. After the zombies gathered, Hunter and Martin joined the group and exited the cave. At the last moment, the officer, who had turned into a zombie, activated the grenade and blew up the cave. After a while, the group reached the shore and began executing their plan. Martin revealed that he had placed some C4 in his house and used a remote control to detonate it. Ray, Martin, and Tiny took a boat to deliver the C4 to the shipwreck. Hunter took some wires and connected them to the water clusters. Meanwhile, Kinsey and Sam stood by the electrical box, ready to turn on the power at the right moment. Hunter rode a motorcycle and played loud music to lure the zombies to the shore. At the same time, Martin dove into the water to secure the C4, but the zombies surrounded him. Ray tried to help him, but the zombies attacked him. Tiny threw the zombies away, but it was too late, and Martin was killed. Meanwhile, Hunter's motorcycle got stuck in the sand, forcing him to continue on foot. Suddenly, an alpha zombie attacked him, and Hunter had to fight it with his bare hands. After a struggle, Hunter managed to knock Alpha away, but Kinsey turned the music back on to attract the zombies to the water near him. On the boat, Tiny kept fighting off the zombies trying to board, but they wouldn't stop. Ray gave her a life jacket and told her to escape, and she jumped into the water. At the same time, Hunter continued his fight with Alpha and finally managed to activate the stun gun, cutting off the zombie's head and throwing it into the pool. At that moment, Sam turned on the electricity, electrocuting all the zombies at once. Tiny swam far enough away, and Ray bid farewell to Hunter over the radio before detonating the C4, dying in the explosion. A massive wave formed and began moving toward the shore. Hunter ran quickly but found his path blocked by Bellin, who had turned into a zombie. Hunter killed him using a blade, blowing his head off. Finally, Hunter escaped just before the wave hit the shore and reunited with Kinsey and Sam, who helped him out of the water. At the last moment, they saw a Coast Guard ship approaching from afar, and the family was assured that they were finally safe. And that's it. If you liked the movie, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe here to the channel.